want to play that, you can go ahead and join the giveaway. With all of that being said, I'll hand things over to Hurricane so he can give us a countdown whenever you're ready to start the run.
Right, yeah, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Oops, yeah, close enough. Right, so this came out in August, or May of last year, 2020. Didn't really hear too much about it at the time, but I came across it in Steam recommendations, played a demo, pretty impressed by it, and then I picked it up sometime late last year. Typical sort of Metroidvania. You go through, you fight bosses, abilities, linking map, etc., etc. Pretty different approach to it, where it's mostly just boss fights. You don't come across Castlevania-esque long, extended hallways of enemies. It's also got built-in timers, cutscene skips, as you saw as we just appeared in the middle of a room there, so on and so forth. This is picking up the first ability, the dodge ability, because we're actually going to get to an enemy there. There's a couple of rooms where you just jump and smack off the targets. We generally refer to them as puzzle rooms, platforming rooms. Never mind. I could have just quit out and walked back to the gravestone there, but I didn't. Anyway, we skipped a cutscene against Rogue here, who gets a little confused about what pocket he's left the sword in, and then we just roll, jump, slash into him several times, going over his head a few times. The reason why we roll at the end of 2 slashes is because the game generally pushes you backwards. And then when you kill someone, there's a little bit of a slow-mo, but if you roll and slash, you should be able to smack them again and cut the slow motion. Just cut it short and save about 2 seconds every time. We come to this section, and roll, jump, slashing is basically allows you to long jump. Not essentially double jumping, but you're doing a long jump followed by another long jump in the air. There's a little purple thing here. We got an ability where if we charge our attack like this, we'll sort of slingshot ourselves through these things. So now we can actually use it here. But we could just roll, jump, slash a few times through the previous room to go over the gaps. Here comes another puzzle / target room. There's a trick here where you can jump, double jump twice if you hit map and jump in the same frame, and then cancel out by pressing slash and then jump. I hit these things so you can walk back to them. Basically resolves your backtracking through some awkward areas. We get to the second boss, Jin. His weakness is his inability to get up the ground really quickly, so you can just smack him about 8 times. Sometimes he ricochets off the wall, which is not good. When they flash, generally, if you do a charge attack through them, you'll launch them. Enemies can be juggled in the air, but then they can, bounce all over the place. Generally, you just want to let them land back on the ground so you can get back to whooping their ass as they stay down. Which is great against Jin, because like I say, he just has a tendency of sitting down there. You can hit him about 8 times, then you charge a charge attack and smack him before he comes in with anything else. I made a mistake there. It's small, but whatever. Can he jump? Thanks. This is on the way to get the double jump. So essentially the story of the game, as we discussed earlier, was this guy was part of a gang. They all wear masks, but him and his wife and child are looking at a grave at the beginning of the game, and he throws the mask down. I guess something bad happened. So essentially he's exiled from the group. So they stole their child. There was a cutscene that skipped earlier where basically they just wrestled the child from the wife's hands. So we're now on the way to get the child back. Now we're now on the way to not face a boss, because that's a skip for it. You do get an extension to your chain attack after the boss, which allows you to go through 2 purple pegs instead of just 1. But we did a charge attack, and then we rolled midair, and the additional time in the air allowed it to recover, so it could use it again. There's a big hole that you probably shouldn't be able to do until you get the run ability. But just do roll, jump, slash, jump, and then do another roll, jump, slash to get distance. Okay. If you do a roll, jump, slash after a screen transition, just as the black is fading away, you'll just basically get horizontal momentum instead of any jump. Remembering the correct order the rooms come in would be great. Couple of statues. Another one of these story rooms. There's the ninja who we saw earlier with the defender who he didn't even face, and he's stolen ability. He is made off like Sonic. Do this right, which I'm not. You could have done that in 2 double jumps, or 2 double slashes, and I bunched that too. Lovely. A little detour during the prologue here. We touch this, and we go out of the way to activate fast travel shrine. Totally secret wall there that leads to a boss that's not going to pop up in this. Or is it this one? No, it's that one. It's that wall. Wrong wall. Anyway, fast travel activated. Just quitting out to get back. Jumping up here. There's like 4 or 5 targets here the game would like you to slash, but you can just jump up here, slash through this.
Jesus!
Someone followed or something. I should have turned those off. The ninja boss, who's stolen our ability and throwing shurikens. Oh, okay, he crosses me up, does he? And autocorrects. If you slash him like that, you'll remove the gigantic blades that appear on screen. His shurikens aren't too much of a bother, but when he goes orange, there are going to be 5 of them, which is actually a great reference to the sound you just heard. Want to go over that thing? Okay, cool. That was a little worrisome there. We got hit by a couple of things that don't usually happen, like the charge attack. Anyway, now we've got the ability to run, which isn't nearly as fast as when the ninja dude did it, but allows us to run through walls and jump over really large gaps. Refer to the title, Ollie. So yeah, we hit this gravestone, then we retreat. Once again, another backtrack in the prologue just to activate some fast travel. As you saw, some blue stones down there. We can't do anything with them right now, but once we get to the second half of the game, we can do something about them. And we do something about them really quickly because it gets us the ground pound, which essentially activates X as like a 3rd jump. So now we're going towards the Acolyte, who will basically do big jumping slashes. Or jump back and throw kunai. And essentially we can push them into a corner if we stay on the same side. Alright, let's just get the slash there. Full bounce, and see the kids there. It's kid contained. Right, and we went back home, we had a bad dream. Every boss in the game showed up outside our building. And now the demon's going to show us how to do things. We can't actually hurt the demon, so we're just going to intentionally get hit here. As you can see, well, yeah, we should be dying at some point. Yeah, oh no, it's the lowest difficulty in the game for the sake of the marathon. So that was alarmingly long time there. So if you caught it when we came out of the boss fight, our house was ripped asunder. He heard the kid cry under the floorboards, ripped up the house, and they stole the kid again. This guy's just having a really bad day. That and they've taken the wife too this time. So now we come onto this screen. There's a cutscene skipped where we saw an old wise man. We're going to find him. Here's the guy. He's got a scroll in his hands. Also wearing a mask. I guess he has something to do with the group. Maybe also left the group like our character did. Cupcakes, the story? Fill us in on some background info on the story?
Well, we don't really know for sure, but he's still part of the clan, but he's helping you out for some reason.
Okay, he's still part of the clan. Can we trust him? Don't know. So anyway, we walk back to the second shrine and head towards where we get the Grand Pound ability. The reason why I'm jumping up the slopes is because you do lose a little bit of speed going up slopes. Whereas you maintain your maximum speed if you're in the air. Let's come down here, touch this thing, so we can come back one whole screen. Obtain the Grand Pound. can't slash enemies through walls, unfortunately. This would probably negate some of the tougher things in the game. A couple of ghosts have appeared since we've beaten bosses related to them. They'll like have weaker versions of themselves populating the arenas. Well, not the arenas, that's something totally different. Just general areas throughout the game. Here's probably the most unorthodox boss in the game. It's more of a platforming challenge with some guys shooting bullets at you. Ow.
You can see him doing some ground pound cancels. There's a ground pound scroll that he picked up just a little bit ago, but when it starts out, you get a little bit of vertical momentum, so you can cancel it out with a jump to get more height.
Thank you. Thank you. I may have omitted that detail. And you can also fall incredibly fast by just hitting ground pound twice, and you'll go straight into the ground pound with no vertical ascension before it. You've picked up a bullet here. Basically does what it says, but it acts as sort of a critical strike. Before you'd have to do those charged attacks to go through people like we did on Jin earlier, but now we can just shoot a bullet into them as soon as they start flashing and show vulnerability, and that'll flip them into the air. And it will also allow us to just deal more damage to certain kinds of bosses. There's a couple of statue bosses in the game, bosses that never get flipped out, like the typical bipedal bull. That's a health upgrade, which we don't need, hopefully. Smash the blue things now. Ascended to the blue arena, and on harder difficulties, which is probably the worst boss of the game in terms of killing your runs.
So the yellow orbs can be deflected with your sword, but they generally can't be destroyed, and the pink crystals will kind of home in on you, and they can be destroyed with the bullet.
With the bullet, yeah. The green ones can be bounced away with the sword, but there are ones that come out at certain angles, which unfortunately don't have that property, and will just come straight to the ground and start scrolling across the ground. So now you've got the spinning ability, which allows us to basically ride high. And similar to the platforming puzzle challenges earlier, we'll have to hit all of these in a room, and then it'll open up gates for you. The ground pound helps you avoid some of the puzzles, such as that one. I've been told that you can actually slingshot up this little gap here if you can do it right, but I haven't actually seen any footage of it. Just people on the Discord claiming it can be done. I got to this game a little late, and when I arrived in the Discord, some of the tech was on streamable links that didn't work anymore. So most of your special moves are tied to stamina, which you can see by the blue bars underneath the life bar. But in certain rooms where there's a lot of those blue signs, you'll just recover stamina incredibly quickly, which is why there's ground pounding an awful lot there. You can roll through his AoE attack there, which is great. He seems to be giving me a lot of it here. That one didn't dissipate. He's by his sort of halfway point now because he's gone darker and flames have arrived on the floor. Shooting him in the face of the bullet stops his charge attack there, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Get down here. Ow. Yeah. Unfortunately on statues in the dragon you can't do the slow-mo kill unless you receive damage at approximately the same time they die, which is an incidental thing and not an actual technique you'd ever use. So yeah, done with the blue section. We have one of the 3 orbs that the monk requested, and a cutscene you didn't see. We're going red section. Back here, we've got the bullet from the child boss earlier. Back past this sign. So the idea here is to shoot bullets off of the triangle sections and activate grapple points, but yeah, the ground pound cancel is pretty tremendous for skipping the vast majority of this. I believe there is one room you have to do properly here that we're coming up on next. So stand on this, shoot these signs. This twice. The ring slows the bullets down. And probably the biggest skip in terms of time save once you get these abilities. Straight past all this. And then, yet again, another boss is coming up. Referred to as Spear Guy, but I'm sure he's got an actual name that...
Yeah, his name's
Yari,
Yari, but
Yari, there we go.
I won't blame you for not knowing that, since this game doesn't have any words.
No, you need to tell it better. It's like available in multiple languages.
Yeah. It's multi-language compatible. Very accessible.
There you go. How long did localization take?
Not sure, but I think it basically consisted of sending a spreadsheet to a couple people.
Okay. Alright, that's the red orb done, so we can go return back to the green section where we originally got the ground pound and face bosses. Yet another orb. They're referred to as orbs, but they're more like tear-shaped. That's all I got. Are they actually orbs? I think the auto refers to them as orbs.
Yeah, the name officially is Orb.
Okay. With jump, you can cancel the ground pound just before you hit the ground, so you can avoid the downtime of you posturing on the ground, like Iron Man once he touches down on something. There's another statue boss. We'll just be going in on it. Well, maybe not immediately, because he's about to make the bottom explode. There we go. Make sure I'm on the right side. Uh-oh. Oh no! Okay, once again a statue boss, so we just gotta like stand around for a while waiting for him to explode. Cute. Ground pounded to these. Over here. Straight out. So we're running through this on assist difficulty, which is kind of a misnomer. I don't think you're actually assisted with everything. Like you have to do every slash, every jump, and so on and so on. I just generally think of it as easy mode. The harder difficulties add like extra targets, extra portals in these kind of sections. The bosses have more health, do more damage, and have new attacks.
Yeah, a little bit. Mostly it's just more projectiles.
Fun part. Okay, make sure to touch this one because we'll have to warp out. Originally the game, you'll think, you know, you need to go left and face a boss, but it's a boss that you kill in like 3 strikes, then it laughs at you and respawns. Because you have to go through this wall and face the boss in the real area. The boss's name is Deceiver. See what they did?
He deceived you.
Yeah, we can take a little damage here, it's fine. Uh-oh. Ground pound to bust him out of the armor. Uh-oh, he's gone to this phase, which is generally a time loss, but, yeah, marathon runs. Oink, hits the floor, auto-save, there you go. Ow. Yeah, you would have fought the phony boss in this section, but the boss wall would never have been removed. He'd just keep laughing and respawning. So we have the 3 orbs that the monks asked us for. Behind the orb is the demon blade. which will allow us to hurt the demon, who is at the end of the prologue, by throwing 5 fireballs and being incredibly slow about it. How is this explained? By a nice mural on the wall. You know, here's where the 3 orbs are, get the 3 orbs, open the door, get the sword. Pretty simple. So there's pink crystals in this section. Essentially, they will increase your jump height. You'll be acting like you're on the moon. Think of it that way. They last a pretty short time. They allow you to do multiple chain attacks and jump very high and far and long. Okay. Well, there's some downtime in this section in terms of like talking about bosses and what have you. Cupcakes, what do you do in terms of the game? Let the people know.
Okay, so I'm sort of one of the developers on the game. This game was made mostly by one person, Brandon Song, but I helped out with some of the technical parts like the map development and the some of like the weapon interactions, how those status effects work. Like there's one boss that has a poison blade. So I did some of the technical development, and I've done the most of the post-release updates, like bug fixes and stuff.
Yeah, there was a time when the game crashed due to excessive grass on screen.
Well, there was a little bit of a memory leak, and I think that's been fixed.
Yeah, and it runs perfectly fine now. So now like 100% runs are a thing I actually bother doing, because you wouldn't want to start a run and just have the thought in your back of the mind that at any point the game could just say, not today. Bit of a shortcut there. So before we left the green section, I believe I hit a gravestone. Please correct me if I didn't, but this is why we avoid the gravestone here. So when we quit out after we've obtained the demon blade, we just warp straight back to the green section. Can suck a bit if you die on this boss. Basically, the wrong killer.
Yeah, so this door up here, in the cutscene, all the cutscenes are turned off, so it's just skipped. But you can see the monk pushing against it, and the door won't open. Basically, the door requires a sacrifice, so they decide they have to bow to the death, and whoever wins it is going to take the sword.
Oh no! Oh, that worked. Yeah, this is going very well right now. He's not getting counter-hit by any of the bullets. There we go. Or if he has, I've completely botched the follow-ups, or missed the weaknesses after these slides. And I've already used my roll jump slash in the air, so unfortunately I can't cancel out of this slow-mo. Alright, we got the demon blade. Our blade should be a different color here, and typically in a normal playthrough, we'd be wearing a completely different outfit, like a black and white outfit, to show that we have now evolved in some way. Alright, I can just hold this and run to the right. So there's 4 bosses left. Samurai is the next one coming up, a man with a gigantic sword and a big set of armor who also protects a stone that basically acts as red tear stone ring would in the Dark Souls game. You have low health, but you deal more damage. But since this is on like the lowest difficulty, you can take like 3 or 4 hits instead of 1. Taking the gravestone again to warp back to deal with this guy. It's the most annoying attack. Just have to hold the homing attack and hit him from a distance. Whoops, okay. Active frames. this. Alright, it's a marathon, so we're not going to use it now on the leader, which is basically probably the most irritating boss in this form of the run.
Yep, if you were going for a world record, you just press down at one of those safe stones and you can equip a rune. So that risk rune that he picked up, it allows him to do 50% extra damage, but you're restricted to just 1 pip of health instead of 3. So it's pretty risky on this boss, where you've got the 2 servants. After you defeat the first one, then the leader drops down.
A slash back? No? Okay. Yeah, this might be a little slower than usual, because it's a little hard to time the vulnerable phase before he comes down. So you want as many bullets as possible, because you can just sort of spam the bullets once you have them. If you've only got one, then it's sort of high risk. This rune exists. I can't recall what this one does, but basically there's only one rune using the runs. Several rooms of background environmental transitioning. As you can see, the demon really feels himself with several statues of his likeness. And just doing critical strike there to get all the fireballs off the screen. And then his body gets dragged along the floor by some mysterious force, and we'll continue on. We see some flashbacks, memories of him, the wife, the child. Oh no! Hopefully nothing bad happens. To terminal velocity immediately and fall through space. Cutscene, and then throw every bullet we have. How he feels like showing up. He'll have these poses where he'll just stand there and basically hover over him with this critical strike and wait until he flashes white. Essentially a mix-up boss where you just have to wait for the highs and the lows and jump as appropriate. Sometimes the teleports can throw you off guard, and after this, now he'll start summoning lightning and other stuff. Yeah, there comes the lightning. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, cool. We can take 2 hits. That's the final boss of the game. Essentially, he consumed the wife. Demon consumed the wife to come back from the dead. The boss is called Rebirth. Unfortunately, killing the boss kills the wife. Got child at the very least. And the wife is in the bag. On the back. So he takes him to the lake, to the tree. Special place, I guess. The game. Sunset. It's darkness. Unfortunately, there's no other ending, is there? There's no good ending, there's no bad ending.
That's the only ending.
Yeah, that's it. Drink it up. That's all you can. Can't save her, unfortunately. Is this meant to be an actual fire here, or is this meant to be like the spirit? I haven't even thought about this until now, because there's no fire anywhere else in the game.
I think that's just the particle effect from the player, actually. After you have the demon blade, it has like this shine.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then. ATO by Brandon Song and many others. Go, that's the run.
And it was a very cool running game. What a sweet little platformer. Really awesome game. We did get a £20 donation during your run.
Cool.
It was from Arlie Games, and the comment was a little happy smiley face.
Thank you,
So
thank you,
for
Ollie.
that donation.
Cheers.
Have you got anything else you'd like to say?
No, just thanks. Well, yeah, obviously, because I'm gonna say stuff. Thanks to the Cupcakes for the commentary. The competition as well. Thanks to the other runners, Telenuva, for pointing out small improvements I could have made in the runs after I submit them. Hope I get the pronunciation right. Homothathy for the original world records to read off of.
I think it's Homothety.
Okay, there we go. Polecats, who's new in the ATO speedrunning, he's trying his best. He'll get there, hopefully. And since I never got any marathon runs for it, the Vigil, the Longest Night community, a game that came out in October of last year, just thanks to everyone that came together. There were a lot of fun runs and wacky nonsense in that in terms of a speedrun. Shoutouts to Kotal, Pigman, Cartis, Robopox, Freyik, this Rodeo. I think I got all the names there. But yeah, Vigil the Longest Night had some pretty fun runs, but they patched it. It looks better, it runs better, but they did kill some of the speedrun tech in the game, unfortunately, in the process. That's all.
Awesome. Well, with all of that said, we're going to be going to our intermission for the next 10 or so minutes. And when we come back, we'll have Blue Rail with Quake 2 in easy any percent. So if you're looking for some high-speed FPS action, make sure you come back for that. We'll see you again soon.